So today I want to talk about twin flames, karmics, soul tribes, and soulmates. Now keep in mind, everything that I tell you is from my own perspective. I'm not getting on the internet, researching this, and just regurgitating what's already out there. I wanted to give it to you basically from what I've been through and, you know, how I see things and things like that. So just keep in mind, you may Google or find things yourself and it may not align with what you believe or, you know, however it is. But, you know, this is just from my journey myself. I'll start with the soul tribe first. In my opinion, a soul tribe, the word tribe, I never looked into it, but the way that I take it is that, you know how in Africa they have a tribe, right? Say, for instance, someone is good at cooking. Someone is good at healing, you know, like herbal medicine, things like that. Someone is good with children. Someone is, you know, good at whatever. Everybody has their own role. And you all come together collectively in a time of need. And it's like everyone supports each other like a village. In my opinion, that's what a soul tribe is kind of like. From my experience, like the people that came into my life, I noticed that they always balance me out. Like they always know the right things to say or do, you know, to bring me out of whatever I'm going through or to get me through or just as support. Like it's like a support system. I'll share my experience with you basically by one of my friends. So I mentioned her in one of my videos. You know her as Hollywood Prada. She, you know, said that she wanted people to get to know my heart and things like that. When I mentioned doing the YouTube video, and you know, that's what I thought about it. I wrote down a lot of things. We discussed a lot of things that day, and that's how it ended up happening, you know, where I am now. So the way that we met was through music. I've always had a love for music, always been into music. I can sing. It's just, in my family, it's just something that we always did. So we met through music, but we end up connecting, becoming friends like instantly. And it's like a whole nother connection. Like it's nothing sexual at all. It reminds me of like, you know how you have a love for your mother or how you just have this loyalty to someone. And it's crazy because it's like you hadn't known this person your whole life, but you feel like you had. One of the ways that we connected was after my last relationship, I was in like a dark place. We had been friends on Instagram before, you know, like talking back and forth in the DM, but you know, like we never met up or anything like that. Oh, you know, because like I was in a relationship and like I was in a crazy situation. My situation was crazy. Like it was a lot of jealousy, a lot of stuff. So it was like I really was like locked down. It was just insane. I'll talk about it maybe one day. But anyway, so I was going through that. I was in a dark place. I didn't go out. All I did was go to work, come home, sleep. Like it was really just like a really like depressing state that I was in. So she always checked on me. She always came back. She always hit me up. She was always trying to get me to come out, inviting me to things. Like she was just always there and always pushing me like, you know, get out, you know, do more, come around, you know, just getting me out of where I was. And we just really talked about the things that we were going through. Your soul tribe is basically people that were sent to you. In my opinion, I feel like they were sent by God because a lot of the messages that they are able to get through to you, it seems like it would come from God itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like perfect timing, alignment. You're on the same wavelength. It's no jealousy. It's no ill will. Like it's just all pure love. You know how they say God is love? It's like really literally a love feeling. Like I feel like you attract these people into your life. Like you've done so well that it's time for these people to come into your life and get you through and for you to be there for them as well. It's like, it's a give and take also. That's another thing. One thing that I want to mention is if you don't really believe in reincarnation, then these things may not be that appealing or believable to you. Because when I think about like a soulmate is basically someone that you were linked to in another life. So it can be your parents, it can be your best friend, it can be lovers, any of those things. It's like a type of connection where you recognize each other from another life. That's why you're able to bond with a specific person. It doesn't matter what length of time that you know them or that you meet them. It's just like you remember each other from another life. Like for instance, when I think about my best friend, I always say that my best friend feels like home. The way that I figured that out was because we always used to hang out at her sister's house. So her sister moved. So then we went to then she got her own apartment. You know, we got older. She got her own apartment. So we chilled there. Everywhere that we went, where we were together, it always felt the same. It's a feeling. It's a completeness. It's a total level of trust. And that's something that you can't just have with anybody. It's like a really deep connection that you really don't have with anyone else. So also, a soulmate can also be like the person that killed you. You know how like you can meet someone and it's just like automatic, like, nah, like something's not right about this person. I don't like this person. That's because like you can recognize this person from another life and not even know it because they did something to you. Like it's really a deep level. Like when you really think about it, it's things that we don't know, that we recognize, that we take in subconsciously, that we don't even understand. Like the mind is just that powerful. I know that soulmates are real because of the love that I have for my mom. My mom, she's my mother, but I feel like this protecting type thing about her. Like I feel like in another life, either I had to be like her mother or maybe I was like her sister, maybe her older sister, like I helped raise her or something. It's something to where I feel responsible for her. Like she's the parent and I have this responsibility for her. I want to do the most for her. Like we have this really like strong bond like sisters. Like it really feels otherworldly. Like I really feel so grateful and so thankful to have this bond because a lot of people don't have that in this life. But I really feel like it's like really deeply rooted from another life and we really recognize each other and we appreciate each other because we remember subconsciously the things that we went through and we have found each other in this life. Let's talk about karmics. So I know a lot of people like to associate karmics with like karma. Like basically you getting what you've given. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, it's kind of like that. But then at the same time, it's a deep learning experience. So for me, yes, the person did take me through hell. I will say that. But at the same time, this person is a huge test. Like when I tell you, you are tested. Like say for instance, if you used to be a fighter or used to be someone that would argue or the old way that you used to be, like if you used to be disrespectful, this person is going to push your buttons and just really try to bring that out of you when you've changed. It's like you've changed and all of a sudden here they come. And it's testing you to see, are you going to fall for the same things? Are you going to be the same person? In my karmic relationship, at the end of it, I decided to be single, to just go within and to just reevaluate and just replay everything that happened. What part did I play? So when I go back, I noticed that was the biggest lesson. Like out of all my relationships, all of my relationships were smooth. That relationship was the biggest test of all. It tested me on so many levels. It made me want to be a better person, and I wasn't even mainly the problem. But we all play a part in everything that comes to us. It's like the person is a mirror. Everyone that you meet is a mirror. So it could be a way that you used to be, or, a way that you are, or just bringing out things that you don't even realize about yourself. So that whole relationship made me want to come out a different person. Karmics can be very challenging. So just always pay attention to the lessons that you are supposed to learn. It's not just a person coming to you. Like say for instance, your karmic is with someone. That wasn't the case with mine. My karmic was single and we were in a relationship for years. But you could be dealing with someone that's with someone else or some kind of third party situation going on or just any challenging thing that's going on. Some type of war, some type of struggle. Pay attention to the lessons that you are supposed to learn. Like for instance, with my karmic, she had issues from like her childhood with her mom. Before her, I had never dated anyone like that. She opened up my eyes to what's going on, like the things that I want to get into, what's going on with the relationship between the parents and how they can run over into your adult life. She really taught me that the relationship between the mother and the child is very important, it's vital. Because that will show you a lot and it will explain a lot as to how this person loves, how they receive love. She, had an issue with her mom. I won't really go into that. But because of that, it was challenging to receive love or to give love. And so all I wanted to do was love her, and I really tried to, but all she did was like fight me. And I don't mean like literally. I think it's subconsciously this is what was happening. I don't even think she understands it because now, in hindsight, I'm, going through the baggage and I understand now, but she, wasn't the type to do therapy or anything like that. So she, really doesn't even understand what's going on. But in me going back and looking into this, it made me realize like, wow, it's the bigger picture. these relationships are critical. It gives me a more level of being serious. So now when you're dating, I look for certain things in a mate. I want to know your history. I want to know about your relationship with your parents. Things like that matter. I want to help you heal. We're always going to heal. Like until the day that we die, we're not perfect. So there's always going to be things that we have to work through. So I need to know what's going on so that I can help you. I feel like the karmic is a test. I feel like the reason why it's like if you learn a lesson and it's simple and it just goes away, you can forget about it. If you go through hell, you are going to remember for the rest of your life what this was like. So I feel like because the situation was so dramatic, I feel like it's really setting me up for my future mate, the one that I will be with. I'm really big on intuition, and like I feel like dating her was a setup for the person that I'm supposed to be with. I think the person that I'm going to be with for the longest length of time, like that I'm married, will have had childhood issues with their mother. Because I never knew or recognized how important it was until when I dated her. And I feel like the reason why I was, it lasted for so long, and I was really supposed to get this lesson. I was really supposed to be compassionate and get into this and research it that way. When I get with this person, it won't be as chaotic as it was before. There will be healing. There will be an understanding on my end. So I feel like the karmic is a lesson. Can be multiple lessons. So just try to recognize what you can take from that, what you are supposed to take from that, and just, move forward. Lastly, we're going to talk about twin flames. Twin flames is the hardest thing to explain, because unless you are on a twin flame journey, it's kind of hard to even comprehend it, because it makes no sense. It's one of the craziest things. Like, you don't want to tell anyone about it because you feel crazy. It's the craziest thing. So I'll try to break it down as much as I can. What I read in the past, they try to say that a twin flame is the other half of your soul. You recognize each other from other lifetimes, multiple lifetimes. You've been together. You die, you come back, and you find this person again. But sometimes you cannot find them in this lifetime. It can go multiple lifetimes before you find each other. I don't believe that it's a splitting of the souls, because I feel like we are both individual souls, individual beings that come together and share a love and a mission. The twin flame journey kind of reminds me of a heart. When you see a heart, you know how it has the point at the bottom. When we learn as a kid how to draw a heart, you start from the top and you go down. And you notice how if you cut a heart in half, you split it open, it's equal. So, but it reminds me of the opposite. At the bottom, the point. So basically you die. Basically you draw the heart backwards. You go up, then you curve around to the top and down, and you connect. One side is this one person, one side is this other person. That's the journey that you take to find each other. So you just left each other, you die, which is the point. And then it goes out and it comes around and it meets. That's you meeting the person that you're supposed to be with. When you connect, it's a full heart. That's love. And also there's a mission that you're supposed to be on with this person. There's something that is supposed to transpire because of you two being together. It's like these two beings were powerful enough to come together in this life in order to promote some type of change or something. It's some type of mission that you have. So when I think of twin flames, I think of Will and Jada. When you think of them, I think of them both as light workers individually. Like if you think about her, she's leading the world in another direction. She's positive. He's the same. They came together, and they're creating this awareness and spreading this knowledge by being together. So that's why I don't believe that it's individual, that it was one soul that was split up. I feel like it's two individuals that are powerful on their own. When they come together, they're going to create awareness, and it's something that's supposed to happen. Like it's divinely guided. Divine meaning, from God. If you believe in God, the universe, source, whatever you call it, it's divinely guided because these two people are supposed to meet. We talked about, I mentioned twin flames not coming into union, not meeting in a lifetime. Sometimes that can happen. But if you do have the privilege to ever meet your twin flame, it's a crazy situation. It's literally like you're meeting yourself. This person is really a mirror of you. So I'll tell you about my experience when I met my twin flame. Basically, it was like, I'm the type of person, I'm used to people pursuing me. I'm used to people hollering at me. I'm used to, just going with the flow. I met this person and it was the same. So you meet each other, it's kind of like, what's up? Like, what's up? You looking at me, I'm looking at you. And it's also a vibe, like a feeling. It's kind of like a mental connection. It's kind of like so many things are being said when you're not saying really anything at all. Like, listening to what I just said, it doesn't make any sense, right? You're saying everything without saying anything at all. That's telepathy. That's the connection that you can't just have with anyone. So it's just it's something on a deep soul level that's really hard to explain. And when you try to explain it to people, you feel crazy because you know that you're supposed to be with this person. Which leads me to another thing, which is awareness. And awakening. So you recognize this in a person, but maybe they may not recognize it right away. So there's an awakening that has to happen. I have to wake up. I have to have my aha moment. I have to figure out that you are the one. Maybe I might not get it at first. Maybe this person has to come around. It's the other way. It's like you can't just show up and say, hey, I'm your twin flame. We're supposed to be together. They will look at you like, what? So it's kind of like the person has to wake up on their own. Like, say, for instance, they're with someone or going through something. This has to happen at its own pace. So they have to come to that conclusion of who you are on their own. It's kind of like you're going to get clues and recognize this person and you're going to feel crazy about it. So you're not going to say anything to them. You're waiting for them to say something to you and you're both feeling the same way. Like when you do have a conversation, you find out that it's the same exact thing. Like you're going through the same exact thing, but it's scary because you've never had this type of connection with anyone. It's like a once in a lifetime type thing. Also, keep in mind, I mentioned like soulmates and karmics and things like that. So along our journey of dating, you can meet your twin flame and they're in a relationship, or you both can be in a relationship. It can be other things that's going on, which is called life. So all of that in the middle of that, with this connection with the stranger, is weird. So it can take time for, people to come around and even, come into union, even once you have already met, because it's like you both have to do the work. That's another thing too. You have to do the work internally before you can come together. It's like, say for instance, I'm immature. I don't know how to communicate. How can I have a mission with someone that's a divine partnership when I'm not even ready for that relationship? I have to build myself up and get ready for this relationship to come into union. That's the way that it works. You have to be ready for union, or it'll be like two puzzle pieces that aren't going to fit. I really hope that I was able to shed some light or spread some knowledge on all of these type of relationships. I know some things sound crazy, but this video is really for people to learn about certain things, or people that are already on these certain journeys. Just to let you know that you are not crazy. Like, you know what's going on. It's all mental. It's all a connection to source, to God, to the divine, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's all a blessing, and it's all about these type of relationships that we need to nurture. With all that's going on in the world, I hope everyone is just spreading love, loving on yourself, loving on each other, giving. Now is the biggest time to give. I created a video about giving when I was home with my mom. I just have to film my part. So that'll be coming up soon. Just make sure that you're loving on each other. Just make sure that you help someone out. Just make sure that we get through this, and we will get through this. Just remain positive, and we'll be all right.